Welcome to the heart and soul of Outdoors Radio. It's the Hooking Up and Tracking Down Show. In our 11th season, we continue to share facts and give advice on the great outdoors, where we never let the lack of facts come between us and a good story. Guys who are dedicated to helping you become a better outdoorsman. Your host, Gary McCoy, who's no stranger to the radio world or the outdoors, with a CMA to his credit for best personality. A well-accomplished outdoorsman who loves the thrill of taking a big buck or putting a bass in the live well. Mike Eccles, born and raised in Louisiana, who's fished and hunted his entire life and continues to chase ducks in the backwaters and pull bass off cypress trees. And the Boss Tournament Trail Director who runs the best team circuit in Louisiana. Steve Graff, raised in the woods and waterways of East Texas, a former Northwestern State two-sport athlete and tournament angler who continues to strive for big bass and winning stringers. And last but not least, Jay Watley, the brains and producer of the show who pushes all the right buttons, a man with unmatched talent who excels in making these guys look good and this show sound great. Now let's jump off the front deck and make the first cast with the boys who know it all, Gary, Steve, Mike, and Jay.
Thank you for tuning in. Hooking up and tracking down 1130 The Tiger. It's Gary McCoy, the old Ranger Iowa Pro Staffer Steve Graff in the house today.
That's me.
And the mud hen Mike Eccles is here, looking all tan and fit.
I just got out of the tanning bed.
Did you really?
Well, I mean, actually, she kicked me out.
For eating crackers?
Yeah, buddy. And, of course, Jay's here. He's completely clean-shaven now.
It's a different Jay every week.
Every week.
At least 15 pounds lighter, for sure.
Well, I mean, it was all that Grizzly Adams starter kit you had going. Yeah, that was the deal.
What's the wife like the best? The nice,
likes
clean
this,
Jay,
yeah.
or she like the rough Jay?
Yeah, it's her birthday week, so I figured I was going to go all in on growing it back out.
There you go.
Give her one more week.
Jay's a smart guy.
So both of you shaved.
I didn't say that.
Well, I meant her legs, you know.
Yeah, buddy. That's what he meant.
Yeah, that's what he meant.
That's what I heard. He even turned red. Hey, this opening segment of the show brought to you by Steve Nichols, Specialty Trackho, Despino Jim South Tire, and Lake Fork guide Johnny Geis. Give him a call. Better yet, go to lakeforkbigfish.com and book the 2017 Lake Fork Guide of the Year. He is Johnny Geis.
Yes, he is.
Big show today. Bob Seeley's going to be on the show. So what we're going to do is here at 11:15 when he comes on, we're just going to turn the mic over to him
and let him talk.
And then we'll come back in 15 minutes.
Come back just unplugging.
Yeah. That guy, he just doesn't have a personality, does he?
No.
That's the reason he's so poor.
God love him, He's just such a wallflower. You can't get him to talk about anything.
Yeah.
Also on the show today, this one kind of cool. Our K2 Coolers question of the day. Are you in favor of the Louisiana Wildlife and Fisheries putting out marked fish attractors on our area lakes? Daryl Gleason is going to be on. Foster Fence Pro Daryl Gleason going to let you know what's going on Toledo Bend. Also, Luke Palmer, straight up 12 noon. He's this past weekend's winner of the Ray Scott National Championship on the Red River. We're going to find out what he did, what it took to win, any of the ins and outs about that. And also at 12:15 today, world-class turkey hunter Eddie Salter of Alabama. And he'll discuss the best type of turkey call, diaphragm, box call, when to blow, when not to blow, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
He'll probably give us a little example of how to use a turkey call.
Oh, awesome.
And there's very few of them blow.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Does anybody still use the
Oh,
box?
absolutely.
Yeah. There's some guys think the box call is the best call.
Yeah.
Some guys still say that's the best call ever made.
Well, they make, I think Haydale's got one that you kind of just hit it, like that.
Then they got the little
Striker.
Striker. That's what it's called. What is that, slate?
Slate, yeah.
Slate, yeah.
And a wooden big pencil?
Yeah.
Some
Big
guys-
Chief crayon.
I bet Hunter, we didn't get him to do it. I bet you Hunter can call by mouth.
Oh, I'm sure.
Because he's
But
one
there's a
those
lot of
kind
those guys still use the old diaphragm up
Yeah.
there.
No, all of them do. All of them do.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, because they do the hen call with that.
Okay.
And they can do that hen whatever.
There's that one you kind of wiggle in your hand. Like that.
Do that again?
No.
No, don't do it.
I'll pass. We had a boss tournament this past Saturday.
Oh, my gosh. Did we have a tournament
Dude,
this Saturday?
was it stupid or what?
You know, it really was not a surprise.
No.
I mean, it was just, the perfect storm.
Yeah.
If you were fishing this tournament, if
Right.
you were getting up Saturday morning and wanting to go fishing for the fun of it, you need to keep yourself at the house.
Yeah.
'Cause it was some kind of nasty, cold, and wet. And
But that's when they bite on
that's
Saturday.
what Pete and I were talking about. Was it's not just that it was 37 degrees.
Yeah.
It's not that the wind was blowing 25 miles an hour. Right. It was that 3-hour rain in the middle of all of it.
Yes, I'm telling you what. To get from my house to the truck, I had to have 2 umbrellas while y'all were out there in the boat. Yeah, I felt so sorry watching Don McCutcheon out there in the rain set up all that stuff that day while I was in the trailer.
God love him. I bet he's cold and wet.
Yeah, but we had
It was so good to see
103 teams, which is a great turnout, and they did exactly what we thought they were going to do. Josh and Johnny Johnson just blew it away. They came in with 5 fish that weighed 31.97. I would round that up. If that was my string, I'd round it up to probably 35, 36.
Somewhere along in there, yeah.
31.97, and to go home with $4,000 from Boss, $500 from Bayou Outdoors because they were in a Triton.
Right.
And they won the loyalty money, and they're going to get another $5,000 Triton Gold money. So it's a $9,500 payday for Josh and Johnny.
How about that?
Not bad for a little local tournament.
Yeah, these little local tournaments just don't pay anything anymore.
I know it. Yeah.
God love you. You can't win any
Let's
money.
go off and fish something else.
Yeah.
And spend about 5 nights in a motel. Todd Iman and Scott Moore, always a threat on Caddo Lake. Probably thought, and I would have too, probably thought they had it won 24-37. Like 6 pounds out of first, but they
7 and change.
Yeah, and then they got $2,000. Jeremy Botica and Ricky Lee, no surprise to the winner's circle. They had $22.66 for $1,100. John Wayne Kennedy and Trey 5-Bite Morgan, I called him. They had $22.37. And $8.45 for the Gator Tail Big Bass. They won $500 for Big Bass.
That's all Trey ever gets is 5 bites.
That's it. That's all he wants. That's all he wants. And they won $1,000 for the tournament and then $500 for Big Bass. David Brown and Claude Eccles still eating breakfast at 6:30 in the morning when everybody else. I know that for a fact because I was at the restaurant with them. When everybody else was fishing, they were eating breakfast.
You're kidding
me.
me.
They came in with $21.53 for 5th place, and $950. Roger Kirkland and Jimmy Smith, they had 6, $21.47, $900. It goes all the way down to 10th place.
You forgot Gary and Pete.
Oh, shoot. I'm sorry.
Man.
I'm sorry. In 21.45 for 7th place, Gary McCoy and Pete Daniels, and they had
little fan music in there.
21.47. They won $900. 10 sacks over 20 pounds.
It was incredible. It was Caddo of old. Remember the old days, like when it got really cold, really nasty, the wind's blowing really hard, the fish on Caddo would bite?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was that classic Caddo.
Yep.
And, the fact is that Mother Nature had come through, and because of the cold we finally had this year and because of the high water and stuff like that, you could fish wherever you wanted to fish. The Salvinia was not a player in this particular tournament.
You know where else they bit like that? Because when I talked to Cole Garrett and Billy Graves, who've both finished extremely high in the ABA National Championships, Saturday, Billy told me and Cole told me he missed 3 fish that when he threw it in there, it didn't go a foot down, and all of a sudden you look up and your line's 10 feet off that spot.
Wow.
They were hauling tail with the baits on Saturday. They said
on the river?
On the river. They said it was incredible.
Wow.
Absolutely. And he missed some fish because of it.
51 teams went home with a check. We even paid $100 for the smallest 5-fish limit.
What was that?
I don't know. It's on this someplace.
What was it? What were you asking?
the smallest 5-fish limit. It's a Gateway Tire giveaway. They pay $100 to the smallest 5-fish
Tony
limit.
DiGiolamo.
Yeah, that's it. DiGiolamo won that. Yeah. And they had 5 fish that weighed what?
718.
Yeah.
718.
Yeah.
I thought it was Jeff Payton, Eddie Shaw. I was getting ready to say, what the heck?
Now, and they're a team right there that you would expect to come in with 20, 25 pounds, and it's really kind of strange. Some of the really, really salty teams that didn't do as well as you thought.
Yeah.
When the fish bit.
Yeah.
I think it was one of those deals that you had to be on them that morning.
Yeah.
And if what you were doing worked, it worked for you the rest of the day.
Yeah, Jeff Holder, Terry Burgart, I would have thought they'd been a lot higher.
Yeah.
Well, it's one of those kind of deals. One of those kind of deals where it seems. I was telling Graf before the show started. This year has been like that with Boss. Mm-hmm. If you put it together early, it worked. And generally, that's not the case. Generally speaking, you're what Claude and David are doing. Eating breakfast and stuff like that. I mean, that's usually the way it is. If you get bit before 10 o'clock, well, that's just a bonus fish. And it's that time from 10 until 2:30. You better make bacon. And this year it's been kind of strange in that you better be on them right away and catching them and then have that hold up. Because the bite's going to slow down, or it has.
Oh, and I think that has to do with the amount of boats on the water.
Right.
You know what? I never thought about that.
I see it. I went to Caddo Lake yesterday. Me and Mike Fisher. I had 12 bites. By 1 o'clock, caught 9 fish.
Yeah.
Decent fish. Not any big ones. Nothing over about 5.5 pounds. But there was almost nobody out there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
If you put 150 boats or 110 boats on the lake, I can't hardly get a bite.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
I don't believe that.
ABA National Championship results. Again, we'll have Luke on at top of the hour at 12 o'clock. Luke Palmer won it from Colgate, Oklahoma. I just noticed this. He had 16 fish total for all 4 days for a 38.57. And
38.57 on a 4-day tournament, and you win it.
Only 2 guys weighed 5 fish limits out of 150 pros. Only 2 guys weighed 5 fish limits both days. The second place guy, Robert Brownall from Malabar, Florida, had 20 fish for 36.85. Billy Graves had 18 fish. He was 2 fish short of a limit, one each day, I think, on 2 days for 36.79. Billy finished third.
But now this you keep saying each 2 days. That's a 4-day tournament.
It's a 4-day event.
Yeah.
And Joshua Cameron was the other guy that had 20. He had a 5 fish limit all 4 days. He weighed 36.71 for fourth.
Did all the anglers get to compete all 4 days, or did they?
No, top after 3 days they cut to the top 25.
Okay, gotcha.
And this guy led it the first 2 days. John Anderson from McKinney, Texas, was leading all the way up till day 3. With he had 16 fish that weighed 35.44. And looking down the list, Tyler Rivette from Raceland. Where is Raceland?
Down near New Orleans.
Okay, he came in 10th with 16 fish, weighed 31.84. Nick LeBrun finished 14th, and Kevin Lazion finished 13th, both Louisiana guys, and then Cole Garrett finished 15th. So I think Nick's issue, and Nick, I know he's listening probably, Nick's problem was he had 4 boats in his area, and they were all sharing the fish.
Oh, wow.
They just, too many people. I had a feeling that would happen just because I know where Nick likes to fish, and I know he's hoping to have it to himself, and he didn't. You know? And a lot of these guys didn't want to run. Mm-hmm. They didn't want to get on that main river. Cole Garrett ran over some rocks on first day of practice. Imagine that.
Hey, you know what now?
Blew his lower unit up. Lower unit.
When Cole comes in after fishing a tournament and doesn't tear up something, that's when they're going to write an article about it.
This is something that I don't know if it's going on the river, but I know on Caddo, if I was just meat hunting right now, the white perch are biting like crazy on Caddo. We caught white perch on everything we threw, from a tube to a beaver to a crankbait to a spinnerbait. I mean, it was unreal, the number of white perch. Huh. And I'm talking about good one, big old sockeye.
I'd have kept every one of them.
Well, we didn't think about it until after we'd thrown away a good limit of them.
Exactly.
We are hooking up and tracking down Sit Tight Bob Seeley and the big Sam Rayburn. tournament. He's got all the details. That's coming up here just a couple of weeks, April the 20th through the 22nd. We'll get more on that here in just a sec. Hooking up and tracking down 11:30. The Tiger.
Swampy feeling, some duck blind healing.
The Hooking Up and Tracking Down show thanks you for tuning us in today. This show would not be possible without our great sponsors, Toledo Town and Tackle, J&J Exterminating, V&M Baits, Commercial Power Equipment, and Daiwa Samurai Braid, the best casting and most dependable braided fishing line on the market today. Now back to the guys who are very dependable, Gary, Steve, and Mike.
And a little word about Commercial Power Equipment. Owner Paul Sutherland is ready for you. You might not be ready for spring, but Mother Nature got a little something in store for you. That grass is going to be a foot tall before you know it. And Commercial Power Equipment can get you ready for all your spring yard work. Blowers, trimmers, to mowers, they've got it all. In fact, they've got the absolute best mower on the market today. And you know what? I'll bet you any man that mows grass, or any woman, any person for that matter, if you ask them what's the best mower out there, they don't even have to think about it.
Exactly.
It's Exmark.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, the question isn't whether or not
it's not
Exmark
debate.
It's not whether or not it's the best. It's whether or not you have that.
Right.
And they are loaded up at Commercial Power Equipment with Exmark. In-house financing available for you. If you want to see all the models, everything that Paul's got in the store, just go to mybigmower.com. Mybigmower.com. They'll get you all hooked up. On the phone with us, Bob Seeley. And Bob, listen, we're getting ready for Rayburn. And you're giving away You're giving away what, $14 billion this year? Is that the total payout?
Excuse me, there's a silence. I gotta hang on to the cheek.
What is it? You're paying what? Are you paying like $1 million an hour? I mean, it's just this is stupid money. This is when you say win money.
You know, you've been riding that lawnmower way too long, bro.
Gas fuse, baby.
He's like George Jones.
I don't know
he
what
rode
you're
it to the liquor store.
However, no, it's $600,000.
That's just a ton of money, dude. I mean,
matter of fact, other than an anniversary year, this is the biggest guarantee on a normal year I've ever done.
What?
Well, that ain't too shabby.
When someone fishes one of the big, you know, the big tournaments like on Rayburn, because Rayburn is like the grandfather of all of your tournaments. When someone,
that's the granddaddy.
What's the biggest compliment you get on that?
What are you going to do the next year to top this?
They're never happy.
Well, guess what? Guess what? I am going to do something next year to top anything that I've ever done. We'll talk about this year, which is next week. But let me just drop this little tidbit to you. My 35th anniversary event at Rayburn is next year, 2019. That's April the 26th, 7th, and 8th. I'm going to do the largest guarantee ever been done in big bass tournament history.
Oh, wow.
$1.2 million, and the biggest bass is going to win $300,000.
For one fish.
Now I've got your attention.
Wow.
Bob, you're going to have to put a limitation on boats for that event.
No, I don't.
Good
Yeah.
gosh.
That's just
Yeah.
stupid money.
Raven is large enough to handle it.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, but that's just the big fish overall. I ain't even talked about the hourlies yet.
Well, like in this one, this year, it's you've got 171,000 and change that you're going to give away in hourly payouts alone.
Yeah, that's $1,500 first place every hour, all the way down to $250 in 15th place.
April
Yeah,
20th,
it's
21st, 22nd.
Yeah, that's next week.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
you know
it's-
what?
it's
That
here.
is-
It's
yeah,
here.
That's,
Yeah.
that is. That's next week.
It's here.
Yeah,
Holy cow,
yeah.
brother.
Matter of fact, I'm at Academy Sports and Outdoors in Conroe right now, getting ready to do registration here, and then I go to New Caney at Academy this evening.
What's the
And
best
then,
way
you
for
know,
some of our local guys to get registered?
Well, we were in Tyler yesterday, and we were in Lufkin yesterday. We were in Beaumont the day before. And then, of course, this Thursday and Friday, if they happen to be at the lake, stop by the office between 8 and 5, and then go ahead and get registered.
Oh, okay,
You know,
okay.
This Thursday and Friday. Then next week, Monday. But then after Monday, then the big registration day next week will be Thursday at the tournament site.
Mhm.
You know, from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Okay, you're giving away
There's no late fee.
I was going to say you're giving away $600,000. I mean, entry fee's got to
Yep.
be $1,000, right?
No. It's $160 for one day, $210 for two, and $260 for three.
See?
If they pay cash, I'm giving them a $10 discount.
Hey, look here.
So we kept our entry fees the same. It's even going to be the same next year.
I'm
But,
seeing that
we'll go.
the
$260 for $300,000. next year.
15th place in the hour, $250.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you
Well,
pay
why
for
don't
the
you
whole
just
weekend.
be the first person each day to get to 300, 40, or 50 exact weight. I'll give you $5,000.
Wow. I remember one time
Yeah,
I went down, and I was telling Graf this, every tournament, every Bob Seeley tournament that I've ever fished, this is back when you called them McDonald's. Every one of those that I ever fished, I made money in. And I'll never forget one year I showed up, and I had a fish, well, it was a little under 7 pounds. And
Right.
my buddy Todd Jackson was here, and Todd said, he goes, well, mine's not that big. He said, but I'm still hoping I'll get a little hourly money. He dropped that fish on the scales, and it went 6.00 pounds.
Oh,
Won a brand new boat.
wow.
Well, sometimes that happens.
Yes, dude.
It pays to be lucky sometimes.
Yeah, well, it seems like my anglers, like on the hourlies and the exact weights, they kind of like cash more than they do a boat.
Oh, yeah.
That's okay.
Well, you can spend it
Yeah,
right now.
just-
Yeah.
Yes, $5,000 ain't too shabby. Now you do realize that, like on the say day one, the 300 and the 50 get hit, but the 4 doesn't. That 5,000 goes into a random draw Sunday during the show. We give it away regardless because it's all part of the guarantee.
Now, Bob, let me ask you this. Have you ever thought about, and I know boats are a drawing card, but again, so many guys that have actually won boats know what kind of headache it can be. Have you thought about just giving cash away? Would you think it'd have the same appeal?
Well, then you talk to your sponsors.
Yeah, true.
Right.
True.
Right.
It's just like, you're sponsored, just that you got an engine sponsor, a trolling motor sponsor, an electronic sponsor, and a boat sponsor. If you do all cash, you're kind of eliminating them.
Right.
We don't want to do that.
Right.
But, how many events can you go to that right now where you have the opportunity to win a boat and a truck, $10,000 for one fish?
Yeah.
For one.
And you know what? If you won the boat and the truck, that means you already won an hour at some point.
Well, certainly. And then if you on the T-shirt bonus hour and you had the shirt, you won that hour, 8 to 9 or 12 to 1 each day. I double first place. Instead of $1,500, they get $3,000.
Wow.
Is
That's
there
for a $20 shirt. That ain't too shabby.
is there a payback for smallest fish of the event?
Oh, heck no.
Oh,
At Lake,
Bob, that eliminates me. I can't get in it now.
I hate to tell you this. Well, I tried that one time.
Oh, my
I'll never
gosh.
do that again.
Yeah.
Just about triple
I
the
weighed
length.
in a fish. I weighed in a fish that was caught on a papa that was smaller than the papa. It weighed like .46,
Oh, come on.
and he won a Minn Kota trolling mold.
That's true, 'cause no legal size, is there?
Yeah. But,
No.
well, at Lake Forest, we, that's a slot lake, so it's 16 and under or 24 or better.
Right.
But we do have a big cash prize for the biggest fish under, there.
Right,
And
right.
then, of course, the overall. But, Gary, you said, we used to call it the McDonald's Big Bass Play.
Mhm.
It's actually, we benefit the Ronald McDonald House and St. Jude Children's Hospital.
Yes, you do.
So, it goes to a good cause. We have a certain percentage of proceeds that we donate. And, of course, every tournament that we do is always dedicated to men and women that are past, present, and future in our armed services, because, without them doing what they do, none of us could do what we do. And so
On the
anyway.
on the Rayburn tournament, Bob, this was something what we used to try to do in the old Toledo tournaments.
Yep.
On Toledo, we'd try to catch 3 big fish because you used to limit us. I don't know if that's still the case, but you couldn't have more than 3 fish in the boat. For
Well, the
you.
same. Yeah, it's 3. You can have 3 fish in your possession per contestant in the boat, and everybody in the boat's got to be a paid contestant.
Right.
And you can weigh one in per hour. But once you weigh one in, that fish gets in our possession out of yours. A person could feasibly weigh one in every hour.
Yes.
Because they can replenish.
That was what
But,
Dan Wilhelm and I used to try to do. Was we would try to catch
Yeah.
3 fish as quick as we could, and then go down
Right.
there and essentially play poker
Yeah.
and wait.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, well, this one I figure weighs about 5.5. Let me find out when this one is going to make a little. And you could with those same 3 fish that maybe you caught in the first 2 hours of the tournament.
Yeah.
You might be able to cash all 3 hours, because if you're sitting there, you're watching the scales. Okay, it
Right.
looks like this 4.5 pounder might make some money at this point.
That's
Now,
right.
you might
That's
get
right.
beat out in the last second, but
Yeah.
it was
But
always
it's
a great
little
strategy. Yeah.
Yeah, there's strategy to this, but it's fun. The other thing is, we start the tournament hours are 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. You can start fishing at 6, and then the first hour that we start weighing in is 7 to 8. The last hour is 1 to 2. And but yeah, you play a little strategy game and stuff, and not necessarily that the winning bass is going to be caught on the first day of the first hour. Of course, we've had that to happen. But, I've also seen the winning bass of the whole tournament be caught within the last 20 minutes of the tournament on the very last day.
Wasn't that a young kid that did that caught?
Oh,
like-
yeah. Yep. We had a 12-year-old kid to do our fall shootout that way. And then we had an 11-year-old kid to win Rayburn at one time. And all he wanted was a four-wheeler. Well, you know what? Oh, I gave him a four-wheeler. I gave him a check for $30,000. I gave him a brand new Triton boat, fully rigged out, about a $65,000 boat at that time. And then I told him, I said, "Oh, I got your four-wheeler." Boy, his eyes got so big. But I said, "Hey, Brandon, it's a little different four-wheeler than what you were expecting." And you got to understand, his whole family was sitting down on the front row, and I reached into my pocket and pulled out a set of keys to an H2 Hummer.
Wow.
Guess what? His dad passed out. It was pretty cool. He is still today the youngest angler in fishing tournament history ever to win over $100,000 in a tournament.
Wow.
So it was pretty neat.
Bob, all
But,
this will be
yeah.
all this will be broadcast on our sister station, Kicks Country 105.1 out of Lufkin, right?
That's right. Yeah, we keep all the fishermen updated by the hourly stuff. They break in 3 to 5 times an hour, updating. Then they're posting stuff on Twitter, and so we try to make sure that fishermen understand this is what you have to be. Here's the low end. Here's the top end. If you can beat the low end, I mean, you're going to place in an hour, possibly. If not, well, then you wait another hour because you pick and choose what hour you want to weigh in. But anything can happen in a big bass tournament. And the thing about it, everybody's playing the same level playing field because it only takes one cast. Nobody's got an edge on anybody.
Right.
But we don't
Right.
allow professionals, and anybody that's guided within 90 days from the date of the tournament on our tournament lake is ineligible. So, they're not having to compete with pros, whatever.
Bob,
So it's
let
kinda
me
neat.
let me tell you something, Bob. A lot of times, you're going to find this hard to believe, but sometimes fishermen, especially tournament fishermen, kind of get the big head. Sometimes that happens.
What?
Yeah.
Are you talking about Steve again?
Exactly.
No.
Oh, he's talking about.
No, seriously. And a lot of times I have told these guys around here locally, watch yourself. You'll never. This is fun. You'll never win enough money to change your life. You better be going into this for fun.
Mm-hmm.
But Bob Seeley's tournament is the only place I know that you can win enough money to
change your life. That's true.
Yeah.
Big
Well,
Bass Splash.
yeah, by the way, go onto our website. That's Sealy Outdoors, SEALY, outdoors.com. It'll give you all the information, the remaining schedule of the year, dates and stuff, because as y'all know, Toledo Bend is coming up in May as well. So, that'll be here just before you know it.
Yep.
But Rayburn, $600,000. That's guaranteed in cash and prizes, and that's what we're going to be paying out. We're excited about it.
Bob, you are still amazing, brother. And I'm going to tell you what now, even if you're not going to enter the tournament, if you're just looking for entertainment, you got to go.
Man.
You got to go watch Seeley do a weigh-in at least one of those afternoons. April the 20th, 21st, 22nd. It's next Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Sam Rayburn, and you're going to be there in the pavilion, right?
Yeah, the Humphrey Family Pavilion Park. You bet.
Brother.
That'll be a problem.
This is going to be another huge one, $600,000. Check it out, Big Bass Splash. Go to SealyOutdoors.com. Bob, thank you, brother.
Thank y'all, and y'all have a great day.
We are hooking up and tracking down 11:30 at Tiger.
Got a tournament coming up, or are you just looking for lake levels? Maybe you need some great fishing or hunting tips. Got to check out our website. It's HUTDshow.com, loaded with essential info you need to know. This segment presented by K2 Coolers, Nichols Department Stores, Groove Fishing, Toledo Fiberglass, and Lake Fork Marina. 2016 and 2017 hooking up and tracking down's best marina on Lake Fork. To reserve your cabin or hotel, go to lakeforkmarina.com. Once again, here are the voices of the great outdoors, Steve, Gary, and Mike.
With all the talk about the Seeley tournament coming up, if you're looking to go to the lake, Rayburn may not be the place to go if you're not fishing a tournament.
Amen.
So you want to kind of get away from that crowd, drift over to Lake Fork and get you a room at Lake Fork Marina. It's for 30 years. It has been the full-service resort. Great accommodations, full-size hotel rooms, all the way down to cabins or up to cabins, and a scenic RV park overlooking the lake. You can back that fifth wheel you got from Bayou Outdoors up there.
Amen.
They've got internet service, guest laundry, and a great Restaurant, Tiffany's. They've got a tackle store with all the top brand baits over there, no junk on their shelves. So go to lakeforkmarina.com to learn more about the #1 resort on Lake Fork.
Some outdoor news for you. A couple of things that actually one of these we've got up on our Facebook page right now. If you haven't taken a look at that, Hooking Up and Tracking Down is on there. They have got a House bill that's just gone before the committee and was approved by this special committee that could possibly alleviate some of the weird laws that we've had in South Louisiana, where individuals were able to post or keep in other individuals off of navigable waters in the tidal areas. And because of that, that's one of the main reasons why BASS has said, you know what, we're not coming back down there. We're not coming to South Louisiana and fish where our anglers could get hurt or could be run off or something along those lines.
Right.
Now, this has only gone before the House committee. That means it still has yet to go before the House. If it passes through the House, then it would have to pass through the Senate, and then the governor would have to sign it.
Right.
So another thing that has just been released, I saw this on Louisiana Sportsman. They ran 188, I think was the final number, 188 tests for chronic wasting disease on whitetails in northeast Louisiana. 0 positive cases.
That's good.
That is an awesome
Good
report
news.
for us. That doesn't mean that we don't have it anywhere in the state, but it means that
Right.
out of the 188 in the northeast Louisiana area, there was no sign of it. And I think that was the area that they were most fearful of, because there had been reports of it just across the river in Mississippi.
Right. Also, we've got some changes taking place over in Texas on length limits. If you're not for sure, you might want to go to the Texas Parks and Wildlife website. They've got a listing of changes that have taken place. I'm going to give you one that's close to our neck of the woods, the only one that's really in our neck of the woods, Lake Monticello, which is no longer a power plant lake because they shut the power plant completely down there. It's no longer a hot water lake. Change from 14 to 24-inch slot limit to a 16 to 24 slot limit. Daily bag limit will remain at 5 fish, limit of only 1 bass 24 inches or larger. So isn't that the Fork? Isn't that Fork's length?
16, 20, yeah, I think that's right.
So I think they've done the same thing Fork is doing now at Lake Monticello. It affects Fayette County Reservoir and Gibbons Creek. I don't know where those are at, but Monticello is obviously in Titus County at Mount Pleasant, so that's the closest one to us that's affected.
So I got a phone call yesterday, or not a phone call, a text from a local LDWF agent, Toby Myers, and he wanted me to announce that April the 24th we're having a boater education lanyap class, and that's Louisiana Department of Wildlife and Fisheries will be hosting the 8th annual Boating Education Lanyap Day, April 24th, at 8 different locations across the state. And this is going to be a boating education. LDWF will provide instructors for the National Association of State Boating Law Administrators, blah, 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 all that. They urge the public to register quickly, as most of the places they're going to have, it's got limited space. And he told me, he says, anybody born after January 1 of 1984 must comply with this NASBLA approved boating education course and carry proof of completion to operate a motor boat in excess of 10 horsepower.
Mm-hmm.
If you're born after January 1 of 84.
I think that includes jet skis, too.
It should.
I think it does.
Absolutely. And he told me, he said that last year in the state of Louisiana we had 6 boating fatalities.
Wow.
Including a 16-year-old, and we've already had one this year.
Wow.
So in our area, it's going to be at the Webster Parish LDWF office on Highway 80 before you get to Minden. That'll be April the 21st.
A little something else to put there in the cooker for you. This Saturday, the Minden St. Jude is going to be holding their bass tournament. I believe you'll be able to fish either the Red River or Lake Bistineau. Weigh-in is going to be at Red River South. Entry forms just about all over the place, but if you've got questions, they got a Facebook page. Just type in Minden St. Jude Bass Tournament, and 5 fish limit, 2-man teams, the whole 9 yards. I think it's $100 entry fee, maybe $150, but actually a great place to go. And if you don't mind getting out in the weather, I mean they're going to have a pretty good turnout. They always do, and it's Minden St. Jude is just amazing. I want to say per capita, I think they are one of the largest fundraisers in the entire United States.
Wow.
For St. Jude's.
That's impressive.
I mean, their auction, the stuff that they do, it's just, I mean, unbelievable. It's like a year-long fundraiser.
You can win a house, you can win a car, you can win a
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy all the stuff that they do.
All right, let's get to our K2 Coolers question of the day. This is something that has come up on the LDWF website, and actually they're taking a survey, and I'll go over that in just a minute. But are you in favor, and you guys are fishermen, I wanted your opinions on this, of the LDWF putting out marked fish attractors on our area lakes?
I want to give you a little bit of retrospect on this.
Okay.
Mike and I were both in the former Bass Research Foundation, which later became Bass Life Associates, which they had their banquet last night. When we were in the Bass Research Foundation, we were the #1 fundraising chapter in the United States. The only thing that we asked for, they was like, what can we do for you guys? You raise so much money. What can we do for you? We said, we want some fish attractors, some artificial reefs put in Cross Lake. And I'm not down in Bass Research Foundation. I'm sure that they have bigger minds and budgets and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But they elected to not give us what we had asked for, and yet they built a new headquarters up around Lake Chickamauga or
Chattanooga.
Chattanooga. Yeah. It was in Chattanooga, Tennessee. That's what it was. And because of that, we said, you know what? We're just going to start our own. It'll be something local right here. It'll be
money stays here.
Money will stay here. We know it's what it's going to go to. We're going to allocate all the expenses. It'll stay right here. So with that in mind, do I have a problem with a marked fish attractor? Well, heck no. Heck no. There would be no issue at all. In fact, you're putting something out there that's going to better all fish aren't going to live in that.
No, that's right. Right.
But if it helps the population, if it helps the novice angler who wants to go out there and fish around that. Now I will say
it's going to help me because it'll get people off my fish.
I will. Say,
I'm tired of that.
I will say this,
Graf. There are no people looking for your
my
fish.
Uncle Gary, Mike, you used to go out to Colorado and hunt all the time. My Uncle Gary said that the first time he went out to Colorado, he said he swears there was a deer crossing sign up there, and there was 5 guys wearing orange vests standing right under the sign.
Well,
and so there will be those that don't know any other place.
Right.
But would it be a bad thing? No.
Is it? Yeah, absolutely. Is it a bad thing that if somebody comes to a lake for the first time and they actually know that, okay, I can look out there and I can see 10 places that I can go throw that potentially have fish around them.
Yeah.
And the people that only fish on the weekend that are not, and there's nothing wrong with it, are not tournament bass fishermen, or not really good fishermen, they've got a place to go. Maybe that'll take 10% of the people out of the pressured spots. And put them out there on kind of the easy locations. It's a win-win. There's nothing bad that you can say about it.
What kind of money does it cost? I mean, because you can't put just a couple of trees out there and expect that to
you don't ever put. You're not supposed to ever put anything out there that is going to decay and go away in a couple of years.
Sure.
Right.
Tires, PVC, believe it or not, wrecked cars are great. Anything that will form some type of irregularity and will stay there for a long time.
Now, there is a project that goes on, I know, in South Louisiana and some other places, other states too, is the Christmas tree project. They collect Christmas trees and trim the limbs on a lot of them and sink Christmas trees that hold up for a long time.
They hold up for, they don't hold
3 or
up
4
for
years, maybe.
Yeah, but still, I mean, it's still.
You're going to talk.
It's a great way to get rid of.
But you talk to
Christmas trees.
any of the crappie guides, Maurice Jackson, Daryl Gleason, any of the crappie guides on Toledo Bend, and they're going to tell you they got to freshen those tops every year.
I wouldn't doubt
and
that.
that Christmas tree program, if they have these marked locations, and that's
Right.
where they go put Christmas trees out there every year, that's good.
Yeah.
Right. Here's what they're asking. LDWF is asking for all reservoir anglers across the state to take a 15-minute anonymous online survey, which I have done. All the information compiled will be analyzed and reported back to LDWF and other state fish and wildlife agencies. Here's the website, www.surveymonkey.com /R LDWFisherTractor. Attractor. But if you go to LDWF website, it'll take you to it. You'll find it, no problem. So take the survey. It really didn't take 10 minutes for me. I'm a speed reader, though.
The last anonymous survey I did, it cost me $9.95 a minute.
Hey, sit tight. Go get you some coffee. Hurry back because we're going to Toledo Bend. We get a report from Foster Fence Pro Daryl Gleason. That's next. Hooking up and tracking down. 11:30. The Tiger.
If you've been to our Facebook page yet, go to Hooking Up and Tracking Down Show on Facebook for outdoors news, videos, and great product giveaways. This segment presented by Cypress Knee Outdoors, United Rentals, and Toledo Bend guide Daryl Gleason. Make plans now to go out with Daryl Gleason on the #1 lake for 2 consecutive years, Toledo Bend. Go to GleasonFishing.com and schedule your next trip today.
And before we get to Daryl, real quick, Daiwa, great rods and reels that'll fit your needs and your budget. Reels like the Steez, Zillion, Tatula, Lexa, or Fuego. Signature Series rods from Elite Series pros Randy Howe, Brent Ayler, Takahara Omori, and Andy Montgomery, just to name a few. Daiwa, leading the way in innovation and quality. Also, try the #1 fishing braid on the market today, Daiwa Samurai. And great product, great product all the way around with Daiwa. So whatever Daiwa makes, give it a try. Go to Bayou Outdoor Supercenter, Toledo Town and Tackle, and Nichols Department Stores to see the entire Daiwa lineup.
Daryl Gleason on the phone with us. Daryl, are you fishing today?
Absolutely, I'm out here. It's a beautiful day out here on the lake.
Okay, so are we ripping them, or is it slow? What's the posture right now?
Crossing eyes?
Yeah.
Well, so today is one of the few days on my home lake I actually got to come out and scout a little bit. I'm fishing a little tournament here Saturday. And so I'm not ripping them, but I'm just trying to locate a few is what I'm trying to do.
Well, I know that,
and take a few off and all those things.
We've got this little tournament this Saturday that's only going to pay the winner $20,000.
Yeah, chump change.
Yeah, look, this is probably the biggest tournament I'll fish here this year. Just to tell you how big of a tournament it is, and I'm hearing great things. It's going to be a good turnout. Be a lot of people here.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know that you don't want to spill the beans about everything, but give us some average water depth and what you would approach if you were just coming to the lake, in the next couple of days.
So we're starting to get in that little phase. I still believe most of the fish are shallow, but with us having a little bit of cooler weather this past weekend, which is typical in Louisiana, you always get this one crazy last cold front. It seemed to me where it made the shallow fish a little bit more, fragile. They're not biting quite as good as they were. So you're starting to see some fish out in mid depths a little bit. Let's say 6 to 12 foot.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing I actually noticed this morning, and this is spilling some beans. I'm sure some folks know it, but the shad spawn has started up a little bit. So very early in the morning, if you can find some shady banks with grass or some cypress trees, you'll see the little shad up there doing their little thing, and that's a great way to catch a few fish early in the morning.
Yeah.
What's the best approach on that on Toledo Bend when the shad spawn's going? What's your number one lure of choice?
It's really hard to beat like a spinner bait with some small blades.
Yeah.
Like maybe a half-ounce spinner bait with small willows. And then, especially as we get a couple of days here of some warm weather, you'll see guys throwing little pop and top water baits, walking baits, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, Daryl, with the is there still a trap bite? Can you still pick up a trap, and which some guys throw it year round, but is there still a trap bite going on Toledo?
I would bet there is because I think this is one of those years we're going to have fish spawning all the way in May, so there's definitely still pre-spawn fish on the lake.
Right.
And right now the shad are so prevalent with all this high water we've had, and them generate as much as they are. The shad just seem to be everywhere. You can find them all over the banks. You can find them out 8 or 10 foot of water. So this is probably time of the year where you could pick up like a chrome lipless bait, cover some water, and probably running some fish doing that as well.
Daryl, when fish spawn, after they spawn, do they leave shallow water because of instinct? They're going to leave shallow water, or do they leave it because of water temperature? So if we're getting rains and it's staying cooler, will they stay shallow because it's cooler, or are they just going to leave and go summer spots just because that's what they do?
Well, so I think if you asked about 5 people that question, you get different answers from everybody.
You get 6 different answers.
Yeah, but so what I typically think with that is I think you have some fish that just live shallow. Like some of us want to live in city and some want to live in the country. Some fish just want to be shallow and they're going to stay there. But I think a lot of them, what you're going to see here and maybe like at Sam Rayburn with our water levels being up, you will see a lot more opportunities shallow just because there's enough cover in the water that when they're done spawning, they have things to hide around an ambush, all those things. Where if we were 3 or 4 foot lower, I would believe, especially on the south end, you start really seeing a big movement out. I'm not sure if we're going to see that big movement out until the water level gets down because they have so much cover, bushes, stumps, and then even down here on the south end, today we're down all the way down toward Mill Creek and 6 Mile, and there's still really good hydrilla and hay grass and stuff. So as long as they have cover, they're going to, a lot of them are going to stay shallow, in my opinion.
What about north of the bridge? What's the furthest that Daryl Gleason will even start looking around north of the bridge?
So I get my days confused, but one day this week I was all the way up at San Patricio.
Okay,
all the way up.
All the way up
there. Yeah. For me, it's all the way up. You Shreveport boys, that's south, but for me, that's all the way up.
For a lot of guys, when they get to 12-15, that's the other end of the world.
Yeah, you got to have a passport.
I know.
There.
You're right. I'm the opposite. Anytime I go north of that bridge, I'm worried my motor's going to blow up. Someone's going to run me off. I don't belong up there. But I was all the way up there this week, and the water actually is not too bad. I thought it'd be a little more stained on the main lake, but water looked pretty good, and there's cypress trees with 4 foot of water in them, and plenty of fish to be caught up that way. And that's what's special about April on Toledo Bend. You can kind of do your own thing and find some fish on a multitude of techniques. Just you can kind of stick with what you're good at and run them down.
Well, actually, yesterday on Sibley Lake, a buddy of mine came off the lake, and he told me, he said, "You're not going to believe what I saw today." And I said, "What?" He said, "Brim beds." I said, "Are you kidding me?" He said,
when
no.
the crimson clover starts blooming on I-20, rest assured, brim are bedded somewhere.
I'm telling you, he said he came across 3 beds of brim yesterday on the north end of Sibley Lake.
It'll be those shell crackers, those big red ears, every time.
And I thought that was just a little early. Are you seeing anything on Toledo Bend like that yet?
I haven't started seeing them yet. Typically for me, the May full moon, you're guaranteed it's happening.
Yeah,
but sometimes we will see them in April, starting to do it a little bit. But usually the May full moon is when it.
Daryl,
from what I've noticed.
Yeah. Let's switch gears and get over to crappie fishing just a minute. Last year, the crappie guides, everybody puts their tops out for something like 16 to 18 foot of water. Last year, the water stayed high. Some of the crappie guides I know, fishing was a little poor, and the only thing they could attribute it to was because their tops were 2 or 3 foot deeper than they should have been. Do you think that's really true? And if that's the case, are we going to have the same problem this year because Toledo's full?
Well, I think what you're going to see is your crappie guides who are very seasoned at this, there's a reason that they put the work in they do and put 100+ tops out. Most of them will put some a little shallower, to kind of help themselves in that situation. I I don't think we're going to see that because SRA has the floodgates open, and they're doing what they can do to get the lake level back down. So I would say that it's going to be we should have a typical year. But if you guys remember back about 2 months ago, the first report we done, y'all asked me, would we be flipping bushes this year?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, no, we will not be flipping bushes. And that changed in a matter of 2 weeks.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This lake is such a big, volatile lake. What I'm saying could just be, total craziness. It may change, but it would appear to me that we're going to have a pretty normal year as far as lake level. They're trying to draw it down a little bit now. So I think people that are sinking brush, I'm going to say more like 18 to 25 from the crappie guides I know that are really good and have done it a long time. That's generally the depth they're putting them in, but they will cover themselves. They'll put some a little shallower and they put some a little deeper, and that just opens your options up. So if you're sinking some brush, I would advise to mix it up a little bit, and hopefully you'll hit a gold mine on one of them.
And
McDonald's tournament, the Big Bass Splash, Bob Seeley's big tournament coming up the middle of next month, in the middle of May.
Uh-huh.
And, traditionally, you'll start seeing some fish that are starting to set up on their summertime patterns by that time, but there's still some fish that are still relatively shallow. In the old days at old Huxley Bay Marina, when Felix McDaniel owned it, he used to have an old fish basket that was up there, and he would hang the top 3 lures that were performing the best at that time. He would hang those on that old fish basket. If Daryl Gleason right now had an old fish basket on the side of his boat that had the top 3 lures between now and, let's say, the McDonald's or the Big Bass Splash in the middle of May, what would those 3 lures be?
So trying to predict the future, I would say I would want probably a deep diving crankbait, like a 6-inch lures, like a 15-foot, like a shad colored crankbait. And then a real versatile lure I use a lot is called a V&M J-Bug, a little soft plastic lure. What I like about it is if they do stay shallow, you can flip it. But I also throw it on a Carolina rig a lot, so I would definitely have that on. And then I think that spawn's probably going to last a little while, so I'd probably say a spinnerbait as well for the early morning shad spawn bite.
Now, Daryl, this weekend, the Spino $20,000 guaranteed first place prize, what weight are you predicting is going to take to win that event?
Well, I would say, being Toledo Bend, being a team tournament, I would think it's going to be upper 20s is what it would take to win. I personally have not found that yet, but I know how many great fishermen there are here, and I know what the lake has got. So I think somewhere over 26, 27 pounds, somewhere in that range.
So no 30-pound bags. You don't think it'll be a 30-pound bag brought in?
If someone catches 30, I think it's going to be because they caught like a 10.
One big fish and then a 20-pound sack.
Right.
Well, and the reason I say that is just because our weather is still being so unstable. I'm not finding where the fish are just locking into one pattern.
Yeah.
And so it seems to me like if the tournament was tomorrow, I would probably be doing 3 or 4 different things. I would think. Where to me, when typically if someone catches a 30-pound stringer, they have one group found, either deep or shallow, and they can lock in and do one thing all day and really be efficient with their time. But it's Toledo Bend, man. There might be 10 bags over 30 pounds. They're out there somewhere swimming around.
Oh yeah. If you need some help, holler at me.
Well,
I can show you a great place to eat over there.
Well, that's what I was going to ask, where I could go catch me a solid 13 to 14-pound limit.
Oh, I am your guy, buddy. I am your man.
Hey, Daryl, if somebody wants to possibly get a little heads up on the ball game, maybe in front of the Big Bass Splash, or got
a BFL in 2 weeks.
Got a great day on the lake.
Correct.
How does somebody get in the boat with Daryl Gleason?
Well, the easiest way is to look me up on the internet at gleasonfishing.com, or you can shoot me an email at gleasonfishing@gmail.com, and I'm also on Facebook and Instagram, all those places. So I'm a pretty easy guy to find, and if anyone's looking, just shoot me an email or give me a phone call, and we'll try to hook up and get out on the water.
Daryl Gleason, thank you, brother, and good luck. You stay on top of them, and good luck this Saturday.
Thank you. I just hope to compete well. Appreciate you guys always.
Thank you, Daryl. Appreciate you, buddy.
Daryl Gleason, Foster Fence Pro Daryl Gleason. If you're looking to go to Toledo, it might be worth your time. We're hooking up and tracking down 11:30, the Tiger.
Thank you for tuning in for hour number 2 with more news and info related to God's great outdoors. This segment presented by Commercial Power Equipment, the Red River Waterway Commission, Stingray Line Cutter, and Despino and Jim's Big South Tire. Your tire supply headquarters with the best prices and the best service. Take it away, guys.
We are hooking up and tracking down 11:30 The Tiger. Don't forget now, if you miss this, any part of the show, or maybe you want to go back and hear what Daryl Gleason had to say about Toledo Bend, our show reruns again on Saturday mornings from 6 until 8 o'clock right here on 11:30 The Tiger. It's Gary McCoy, the Ranger Iowa Pro Staffer Steve Graff, the old mud hen Mike Eccles, and, of course, Jay Bird Watley is here, clean-shaven, just for his wife.
Looking good.
It's her birthday.
Man, we need to add a camera in the studio.
I'm telling you.
Jay, where are you taking her for her birthday?
Oh, I don't know yet.
I mean, do you do like the buffet at Margaritaville or?
I did the limo to John's last year.
Oh,
Won't do that again.
Really?
Yeah, that took me back a little bit.
That's that place.
Well, my taxes came in like a week before her birthday last year.
They were gone
And I didn't
afterwards.
tell her about it.
Yeah.
Taxes hadn't came in yet.
so there'll be no limo.
Maybe like KFC.
Hey, Luke Palmer had a pretty good payday over the weekend. He is the winner of the Ray Scott National Championship in the American Bass Anglers Tournament Trail. And we've got Luke on the phone with us now. Congratulations, brother.
Thanks, guys. That's a hell of a deal down there.
No doubt.
Say, you looking for? Are you coming back this weekend to do some more fishing, Luke?
Well, I probably better keep my lower unit on for another week or two before I head back down there, but let the water come down a little bit.
Let's talk about the river just a little bit. Luke, of course, I'm sure you're a really good angler. You understand the dynamics of Red River, but Red River in the last 3 years has really gone through some drastic changes. If you ever fished it before 3 or 4 years ago, the fishing was outstanding here. That's the reason why the Classic has been here twice and looking to come back again. But the high water situations really devastated Red River. In your opinion, I don't know if you fished it before this last trip, but what's your opinion on how the river looked and fished this time around?
The last I fished it, I've been lucky. Fortunate enough, I've been on it twice. I actually was there at the Classic when Skeet Reese won it.
Uh-huh.
And my buddy had a boat down there, so we went out and we come down and pull 3. We just kind of went and messed around. But heck, there was grass and everything flipping, it's just everything you could want. And then I came back 2 years ago in the Open. I think it was in September or something like that. I didn't find a blade of grass anywhere.
Yeah.
It's just, it was gone. And, and it really, I think it congregated guys and didn't allow people to spread out in them, in fields. And plus, there wasn't even lily pads hardly either.
Right.
And I think that, it just put everybody on top of each other and didn't allow us to spread out. I think that might be, probably one reason why the weights were down too.
Right.
But
a lot of guys were probably afraid to actually, especially if they're not from this area and they've never fished Red River. I bet there were a lot of guys actually afraid to actually get on the river, weren't there?
Yeah, there was. Whenever I had a buddy, I went down and was going to put in at Coshada, and I didn't realize that there wasn't a single ramp open except Red River South. And he called me and said, well, he said, just be glad that we moved all the trees out of the boat ramp for you so you can go ahead and back on down when I get down there. But yeah, there was a lot of guys whenever we come out of Red River, which I'd ran out of there a few times, and everybody was idling. Boy, they were scared to death to hit that river. I mean, it was, which they said if it had come up another foot or so during practice that they was going to move it somewhere else.
Yeah.
Which I'm kind of glad they didn't, because I'd have really been disadvantaged then. But
Luke, one of the questions that occurs to me is that, during your practice time, you probably had to put together what you thought it was going to take to win the tournament. Would you have ever dreamed after 4 days of competition that less than 40 pounds would have won a national championship?
Oh, no, I didn't even think close. I mean, I was guessing, up around 50 pounds at least, because I knew the river, it was tough, but I figured it would at least get to that, because I thought someone, especially, the local guys know where to get back in them backwaters and find that cleaner water. But, with all the technology stuff we got now, I'd go back and be idling forever off the main river thinking, shoot, there ain't nobody get back here. Well, heck, here come 3 boats out of it,
Yeah.
It's Google Earth. It's just, there's no stump unturned after.
Yeah, there's no secret holes
these
anymore.
guys get done.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's it's crazy, that it can do that. And
Well,
But,
look
you know,
how far south did you end up going? Did you go to 3? Did you go to 4? What was your game?
no, I end up, I like 4 quite a bit, and it kind of fits me a little better. But I ran a long ways down in 4 and spent probably 80% of my time down there. But I had some stuff up in 5 that was just very fortunate to get the fish out of where I caught them and stuff. But they just happened to be, you know, there'd be 80 boats in the spot, and I'd pull in there and catch a 3-pounder, you know, up in 5.
Yeah.
And it was just very fortunate, you know, for that. But
Well, Luke,
I don't know if I may have been doing something different, but
yeah. Well, Luke, as much as the river's changed in the last few years, there's no sitting in one spot catching 5 fish a day. Did you had to have a bunch of spots? You go to multiple spots? Did you have, like, if I can catch 1 fish out of each one of these places, I'll do good? Or did you actually have a place that you thought you could catch 4 or 5?
I had a stretch that I predominantly stayed on, and I really probably should have been done fishing within an hour and a half every day. And we all lose fish. I mean, I didn't fish clean at all. And so I had to do some scrambling after that, because it was kind of funny. After the first pass, right off the bat in the morning, it was almost done, it seemed like. You know, I'd really struggled to get bites after that. And then I really struggled on Saturday. I had 2 dinks. So in that, I really thought that blew it for that part of it, but I should have had a decent limit that day too.
Well, somebody that might be headed to the river this weekend, what would you tell them to be throwing?
Don't go.
Yeah, stay home.
Yeah, stay home. I definitely get that spinnerbait out and a beaver. I mean, that's really what I caught most of my fish on, was those 2 baits. And I like a big rod and braid and flipping. That's what I like to do. So it kind of played out good for me, because that's just kind of what I enjoy doing.
And there were some guys that I did talk to, Luke, after the event was over, and the spinnerbait on the final day seemed to be one of their top baits. One guy caught a full limit on it, and so you get around the right fish. The spinnerbait's always been a good bait on the river, but it seemed didn't play a big role in this event, but it did on the final day, it looked like.
I threw it on. I always have one rigged up. You know, you always do, especially going the river. And I was predominantly flipping, because I thought that cold front, would push them down in that stuff a little tighter. I looked back and my co-angler had 3 fish where I could turn around. I was like, well, I'm not very smart, but I probably ought to put on spinnerbait a little bit.
Yeah.
He kind of waxed me.
My old partner used to tell me, you ain't got to tell me to eat peanut butter.
That's it.
Well, I'm going to tell you what. Since they've established the pools and we've started fishing Red River, it has actually been kind of backwards of a lot of lakes. You could go to Red River and throw spinnerbait on a clear day and catch fish, and you couldn't catch them flipping.
Yeah,
I have no idea. I lost a Federation tournament down there that way. The front blew through the second day. I thought I needed to keep flipping, and I caught 1 fish, and coon asses came in with sacks of fish on a spinnerbait.
Wow. Yeah.
Clear bluebird, I mean, post front.
High pressure.
And I deserved the butt kicking I got.
Yeah. Take everything you learn and just throw it out the window and hope for the best.
So, Luke, I mean, I see that you're from Colgate, Oklahoma. I mean, do you live on a river system in that area?
No. It takes me to get, I'm about an hour and 15 minutes north of Texoma.
Okay.
Lake Texoma. I'm an hour, about an hour from any tournament waters, really, I have to drive to fish any.
Mm-hmm.
Now look where we used
the Arkansas River is 2.5 hours from me, so
it takes you 45 minutes to get to Stock Pond, doesn't it?
Yeah,
exactly.
Pretty much. That's it.
Look where let's see. Day one, you had a good day, 13:32, and then the final day you had 13:06. Going into the event, talking to Nick LeBrun, who was one of the favorite anglers in this event. He was thinking, if you average 11, 12 pounds a day, you're going to win it. Well, it turns out you didn't average but 9 pounds a day and still won this sucker.
Yeah. That's when it's kind of still, it don't seem real for me, because no way in my wildest dreams would I thought, that would have won it.
Yeah.
And I think that's still the shocking part of it for me, because even going that final day, I told my co-angler, I said, that those 2 3.5 pounders I lost this morning right off the bat is gonna at least, I would be able to put me up. I thought in the top 5 maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I thought with what I had, I'd probably stick where I was at.
Yeah.
Because them guys in front of me, they're all, well, several of them were, I guess they all Louisiana boys, weren't they? I think, except maybe one.
Yeah.
And I said, heck, they'll catch. I said, they got to catch 10 pounds. You know, I said, hell, they'll do that, no problem. But
Well, where were you sitting going into the final day?
I was sitting 8th. And
Wow.
I just had 20. Yeah, I just had 25 or 26 pounds.
Wow.
So
You had the biggest bag
Yeah,
on day 4 of the whole event.
Yeah.
So biggest bag of for him for the.
Were
of
you
the field
were you
on the
catching
final day.
on that day? You know, you catch the biggest sack of your entire 4 days. Were you
Yeah.
catching fish in the same places that you had been fishing the 3 previous days, or had you figured something else out?
I was same stretch. I mean, I got in there and I didn't have anybody in there messing with me. You know, I'm saying messing with me. There wasn't anybody else in there with me.
Right.
And I think that was. I knew those fish lived there. I knew that they were there, and because I had the bites in practice, and I hadn't had a good bite all week during the tournament. Everybody else, it seemed like in the top, had that, 4.5 to 5 pound fish, and I never had that bite.
Yeah.
My 3.5 pounds is about the biggest fish I had, and I happened to get that. I think she weighed 484, and I missed her that morning on a clump, and I went back that afternoon, and she bit.
How important was clean water for you? I mean, were you in muddy water, dingy water? Would you call it clean? I mean, what was you in?
It was cleaner than the complete main river. I mean, it wasn't that you didn't see coons walking across it.
Right,
right. It was fairly clean. You could see 10 to 16 inches. Depending on what happened.
Right.
Luke Palmer from Colgate, Oklahoma, national champion of the American Bass Anglers. Is this life changing for you? I mean, is this one of those kind of things, or is this just another win?
Well, I wish I could say it was just another win, but it's definitely way more than that. But now I still show up at work Monday morning at 7:30 and mowed grass when I got off work, so I didn't get to change too much for me. I still got to go to work.
Well, congratulations, brother.
I appreciate it. But I'd like to thank some of my sponsors at Horizon Marine at Clarksville, Arkansas, Bates Chiropractor and Sports Therapy there in Shreveport, and Phoenix Boats. They definitely get me up and down the road. So,
how in the world did you wind up with a Shreveport chiropractor as a sponsor?
Who I know personally.
Well, it's one of them small world deals, I guess.
What does she look like?
Yeah. And do you have pictures?
Hey, Ryan is one of the best. There are schools from all over the South that send patients to him for him to rehab. That guy's incredible.
He's a stud. He's a man at it.
He is a man.
He does a good job.
Well, congratulations again, brother. Sounds to me like couldn't have happened to a nicer guy.
I don't know about that, but I appreciate it.
Right. Thank you, Luke.
All right, thank you, guys.
Luke Palmer, he dominated Red River over the weekend. 4 solid days. His winning string. This was the part that was the shocker. Only 38.57 pounds
for 4 days.
There was a time when it would have taken more than that to win a 2-day event.
Hey, Billy Graves said his co-angler on day 2 or 3 sat down in a boat and quit fishing. Billy goes, "What are you doing?" He goes, "I'm done. I'm going back to Florida tomorrow. I ain't fishing this sucker no more. I've had enough."
He was toast, huh?
He was done.
I'm out.
I'm out of here.
You fish this all by yourself.
Yeah, you on your own.
You had no fish catching river. Hooking up, tracking down, 11:30. The Tiger. Hey, thank you for tuning in, hooking up, and tracking down right here on 1130 The Tiger. It's Gary McCoy, the Ranger Iowa Pro Staffer Steve Graff, the old mud hen Mike Eccles, and we, the three of us, are so blessed to have not one of the greatest producers. We have the greatest producer on this big old third rock from the sun.
I feel like it turns more and more into a joke every week.
He
you know?
is Jay Watley, and we're not joking about this. His ability to put lipstick on this old pig does not go unnoticed, making sure this show looks and sounds great. The clean-shaven, representing Jay Watley.
Say it again for those in the back.
Hey, if there's anyone who couldn't hear when I turn your radio up, I'll give you a second. If you're looking for a producer for your show, you can't have ours because we got him.
I've been to say, don't give him away.
We got him under contract. He is Jay Watley. This segment brought to you by Daiwa Rods and Reels, Bayou Outdoor Super Center, Groove Fishing, Seagar Fishing Line, and Rayburn Country Resort, an East Texas community and golf destination at Lake Sam or Rayburn. Might be a great place to stay if they still got any rooms left for the big Bob Seeley Big Bass Splash that's going up. Come for the weekend, stay for a lifetime. Book your next getaway at RayburnCountryResort.com.
All right, Bash Cash Bash. Isn't that right? Am I scheduled right? Okay.
Yes.
By the way, Billy Phipps just texted in. He won't be that guy at Toledo Bend. He paid his money.
Hey, Billy Phipps.
Way to go, Billy. Good job, buddy. And but you don't want to be that guy. The longest-running tag fishing tournament series there is, Sam Rayburn, ends April 30th. Lake Fork runs March 1st through June the 30th, and Toledo Bend starts May 1. So $500,000 in cash and prizes, all up for grabs. Don't be that guy. P.D. Vincent would love to give away. He loves to give away money. So to enter today, go to bashcashbash.com.
You know, my son Michael is big into turkey hunting, and his wife bought him a trip to Alabama to go to I guess it's turkey hunting school. Go over there and sit in class during the day and get to go out and hunt with somebody in the morning and the evenings. And they had these world-renowned instructors there. And he got over there Friday, and he sends me a text about 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock Friday afternoon. He says, "Oh my God, I'm in the truck with Eddie Salter." Going to the woods, and Eddie Salter's name in the turkey hunting world is about like Kevin Van Dam in the fishing world. And we've got Fast Eddie Salter from Alabama on the phone with us. How you doing, buddy?
That ought to answer.
Hey,
turkeys are goblins, so you know I got a great day going.
Well, I did you just shoot that one? And he still that was that dying flutter.
There you go. Well, we got after one. I'm in P-Town, Tuscaloosa, and I went hunting this morning right out of Tuscaloosa, and I called one up for a guy out of Arkansas, and he ended up missing it.
Oh, no.
But anyhow, we had a great day going, and, man, we had my Hinda tractor right here, just right out of, well, really on 82, like if you headed to Montgomery. Of course, y'all Louisiana boys don't know too much about all that, but we right here in Tuscaloosa, right?
Now, wait a minute. I want you to understand.
And we talking turkey today. We glad to be on the phone with y'all. I appreciate y'all giving me a call, and I know y'all got some turkey guys out there somewhere, I know.
Eddie, I used to live in L.A.
Oh, I hear you. That's Lower Alabama.
Lower Alabama. I lived in Chatham, and I was amazed. This was the late 70s, early 80s. And I was amazed back then at the turkey population back then. We didn't have any turkeys in Louisiana at that point. And the population back then was already huge. You guys, y'all got on board with those Osceola turkeys early, didn't you?
Well, not Osceola now. We got Easterns. That's what we got.
Okay,
we got Eastern turkeys. And the Osceolas, you got to go on down a little bit further in Florida. And, right there where Chatham's at, we got that Eastern turkey. But what it was pretty much a native turkey that went up and down the Alabama River, in the Tom Bigby, all of it run together there. And it ended up, way back when it had turkeys. And we had turkeys when nobody else had any. And, but, of course, the NWTF's done a great job. They've, captured in the DNR department from Louisiana and Mississippi, Alabama, and all these have worked together, and they got turkeys scattered out all over the South here, in which all over the United States. But you know, a lot of them actually come out of Alabama. We actually transplanted a lot of turkeys in other states from Alabama.
Well, Eddie, our season here opened in Louisiana this past Saturday, right amongst a tremendous weather front, cold, rainy, hail, and stuff. Let's learn something here. What do you think of the? Give me the top 3 mistakes that turkey hunters make that you think.
Well, you know, on a day like we had Saturday, we were in, which I was hunting with your son and them up there, and we were hunting at Westervelt Lodge, which is in Aliceville, Alabama, which is north of Tuscaloosa, about an hour or so. But it was like 30 degrees, and a lot of times you got to kind of go back and kind of depend on your scouting. You already got to previously have already seen turkeys in some of these areas, because a lot of times they don't gobble good when it's a little wind going and it's 30 degrees. They kind of get back in that wintertime mode, and they ain't gobbling as good. And so you really have to depend on, you know, actually just sitting and waiting and spending a lot of time. And I think we don't give, that's one mistake, we don't give them enough time. And then another mistake, I think, is that when you got an old turkey, you know, when you, I'm gonna go through a little routine right here. When you call into an old turkey early in the morning, and if he answers you calling to him right there, I'm going to do it one more time. And he cuts that call off. He's telling you he's very killable right there. And he's really telling you he wants to ride in your truck. And so many times we don't do the right things. And but one thing that I wanted to make point of, when you call to that turkey and he cuts you off and he flies down and he starts coming your way, is actually take that call and throw it about 10 foot over there where you can't call anymore, and you'll kill a lot of turkeys. And we call too much when turkeys are coming in. That's another mistake. And one of the other ones is, you know, so many times we get all this equipment and stuff, but you know, a lot of times we overlook, you know, good shells, and we overlook good chokes, and we really don't go out and pattern our gun. And you know, you can have the best turkey calls and be the best turkey caller, and can't kill him when he gets there. You really hadn't accomplished a lot. So you really need to know what your equipment's doing, and that really gets you way ahead of the game. And I could sit here and probably tell you about 10 more mistakes that hunters make, but that's a couple of them right there.
I was thinking that you know, the first mistake that you were going to say is when you get Fast Eddie to call that turkey all the way in and you miss. That'd be the worst mistake you could make.
Well, that guy this morning, I think he could have went and stuck his head in a hole somewhere. He was very embarrassed on that deal, but hey, that's just part of turkey hunting. And I told him, hey, if you live long enough and you hunt some more, you're going to miss some more of them. I tell you what. Matter of fact, I can't say anything. I missed one last week in Tennessee. I was in Tennessee, and the day before, me and my partner just got through killing a double, and the next morning, here come a big old gobbler in there. He was blowing up, strutting, got in there about 30 steps, and I think Ray Charles could have killed him, and I actually missed him. So.
Now, Eddie, how hard is it to bring
head in the hole.
How hard is it to bring a turkey back in that you shot and missed at? Will they come back?
Well, you know, sometimes they got the hearing messed up for a day or two because that gun just went off side their head.
Yeah.
You know, actually, you know what? You know, I was telling a guy a while ago right here. We got a great promotion going on here, and but I was telling a guy a while ago. I said, you know, he said that don't sound too good. He was running one of these turkey calls, and he said that don't sound too good. I said, yeah. But that old gobbler, he's been waiting 10 months for this thing to happen. And he hears a little hen over there. Oh, he gets excited. He says, "Ooh, I think that old hen," you know, especially when that old hen calls back to him, when she's calling back to him, and he gobbles, he says, "Oh, I think she loves me," and that's what he's got on his mind. So you really hadn't got to be the best hunter in the world. But let me show you. Let me tell you one thing that will help you more than anything else. I'm gonna put a mouth call in. And I'm also going to run a box call at the same time. I'm going to make that old gobber think he's got 2 girlfriends up there instead of one. And, hey, that's what worked this morning. We got to cranking up, and old turkey, he couldn't handle it. He had to come in there and check us out.
So you're using the diaphragm mouth call to do the hen call, and you're also using the box call to imitate a hen too. So you're sounding like more than one hen.
Yeah, sound like, each one of them's got a little bit different cadence. That box call, it's got a real high cadence. And now here's a little glass call right here. I'm like a friction call, slate or glass. And then here's the mouth call. As a guy that makes his living selling turkey calls, when I'm talking to people and they say, "Oh man, you just trying to get me to buy more calls. You trying to get me to spend more money." Well, and I relate to fishing, and I said, "Well, hey, if you're going bass fishing, do you take one lure out there, or do you take a tackle box out there?" And he says, "Well, most of the time I take a tackle box." I said, "That's right." And when you catch a bass on that old purple worm or that spinnerbait, man, you got confidence in it, and you're going to catch some more bass. Same way out there, sometimes you have to change up these calls, and when you find that call, that old turkey, he cuts you off, that's the call you need to stick with, and you'll gain confidence, and you'll be successful with that particular call.
What kind of a call do you use to scout things out first thing in the morning? Is it a crow? Is it an owl?
Most of the time, I'm an owl.
Okay.
And, it's something about an old owl call right at daylight. And you most of the time, you can owl, and you'll get these other owls cranked up around. And all at once. And the reason that old turkey gobbles at that owl, I think it's not so much to challenge that owl or tell him that he wants to fight with him or all that, but he just wants to be the loudest thing in the woods. He wants to show off with his little pretty hen, "Hey, I'm the biggest and I'm the baddest dude over here, and come over here and check me out." And that's what he wants to tell the world about.
Eddie, if you get your calling down, you might make a good turkey hunter.
Yeah, he might be successful.
Well, I'm working on it, but hey, I did stay at the Holiday Inn Express now.
Eddie Salter from Alabama, world-renowned turkey hunter. Eddie, yeah, go ahead.
Let me ask you, did you ever check old Tommy Wilcox out that played ball for Alabama that's up here today?
I told Steve about him, and Steve said he'd never heard of the guy. That's not true.
No,
that's not true.
Right.
We did, absolutely. we may get a hold of Tommy. He's got his own TV show now.
He does. He's got a local TV show, and he's out here today. But I tell you what, you can text me back, and I'll text you. I'll forward you Tommy's number.
Yes.
And he's a good old boy to talk to, too.
We'll do that. We'll do that. Eddie Salter, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it. And thank you for spending the weekend with my son.
I just got introduced to you. So y'all don't forget me. Give me another call one day.
We'll do it. We'll do it.
He's Eddie Salter, world-class turkey hunter. Maybe a little bit of something if you're headed to the woods this weekend that might be able to help you out a little bit.
Yeah,
we're hooking up and tracking down. We're going to find out your bass IQ up next, 11:30. The Tiger.
Hey, just in case you missed today's show, set your alarm for Saturday morning at 6 a.m. Tune in to 11:30 The Tiger for more hooking up and tracking down. This segment presented by Bob Seeley Big Bass Splash Series, Wildwood Resort at Toledo Bend, Natchitoches Ford, and Bass Cash Bash. Don't be that guy who forgot to register and cash in on a great tournament circuit. Go to basscashbash.com to register today. Now back to the men who will never be that guy, Gary, Steve, and Mike.
And if you've never been to Toledo Fiberglass, God love you, you probably haven't been fishing long.
Yeah, exactly. Or you don't own a boat.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those simple things that if you fish long enough in Louisiana waters, we were talking to Luke Palmer a little bit earlier, who was talking about the Red River.
Yeah.
Toledo Bend was the Red River before the Red River was ever the Red River.
Yeah.
And, you talk about some bodies of water that will truly test your boat, and you spend enough time in one of them, you're going to punch a hole in one of them.
Exactly.
And that means immediately you need to head for Toledo Fiberglass. In business 36 years, fiberglass repair, restoration, home of the Gorilla Hull with a lifetime warranty. And I'm telling you, when you get that Gorilla Hull on there, it doesn't matter if you've had that boat for 2 months or for 20 years, lifetime warranty, they will take care of it. Going to have you back up and running before you can know it. A Humminbird and Minn Kota dealer. So if you're looking for a new trolling motor, some electronics, they can help you out there. Just west of Toledo Town on Highway 6, just east of the Pendleton Bridge. Real easy to find. To learn more, go to ToledoFiberglass.com. ToledoFiberglass.com.
All right, little Bass IQ. We're going to do a little. We got, let's see, 1, 2, 3. We got.
This is the United Rentals.
Yeah, United
Bass
Rentals.
IQ.
Bass IQ. Exactly right.
Thank you, Brother David.
Yeah, we do appreciate it.
Thank you, Gary.
Yeah, thank you, Gary. That's why you make the big bucks. All right, Bass IQ. We're all going to get this first one.
Okay.
This is pretty. Jay might even. Jay, we'll see if you get this.
All right, I'm ready.
The practice of inserting a hypodermic needle. Boy, I could go a lot of directions with that, couldn't I? Through the skin of a bass to release air from its swim bladder is known as what? Bleeding, buzzing, fizzing, or deflating? Jay, good guess.
All right, now let me explain this, Jay. You've just caught this fish 30 feet of water.
Yeah, deep water.
And the fish has really got the bends. That's what it is. His bladder has overinflated with air. He came up too fast.
Yeah.
Okay? So you're trying to save this fish's life.
Yeah. So it's popping.
You
Popping
put this hypodermic needle right into his air bladder. And so you're releasing air out of the hypodermic needle.
It's fizzing.
There's my boy.
Like your Coke fizz.
Did I help him out?
Hey.
That's why he's running this show.
Exactly.
I expected him to say farting.
Here we are. That was my second guess.
Or he says if he caught a fish in that deep of water, the procedure was going to be called filleting.
Exactly.
I would have never thought to fizz that.
Yep. All right, number 2. The kneel and reel technique, which requires an angler to place his rod tip into the water to get extra depth.
I know
The deep
that.
diving crankbait was made popular by which legendary BASS
Don't even
pro?
give us an option.
Okay, I'll give you an option.
Yeah.
We all know
His
it.
initials are PE.
His initials are Paul Elias.
Yep, exactly right. We all know that answer as well. Okay, next one. This one we won't know. I'll be shocked now. Mike might guess and get it, but he don't know. Studies have shown that bass have homing abilities that allow them to sometimes return to the location where they were caught when released after a tournament weigh-in. What's the farthest they've been known to travel for a return trip? A, 13 miles, B, 22 miles, C, 7, or D, 10?
Well, it depends on how many roads they got to cross.
That's true. Depends on how long the lake is.
Exactly.
I thought I knew the answer, so I wasn't listening. But I'm going to say it was whatever the furthest one they have down.
10 miles?
22.
Oh, 22 miles?
13, 22, 7, or 10.
Okay, I'm going with 22.
Wow.
I would go with 22.
No. I'd say 13. 13. Now, question for you on this, Mike, while he's looking up the answer for that one.
Wow.
What is it? 7?
Oh, no. I looked at the wrong answer.
Oh.
Hold on.
He looked at the fold out. Put that penthouse up.
What's the answer?
The answer is A, 13.
13. What did I say? 13.
Well, you
Back
guessed.
the tape up. Well, I did. But here's my question.
Yeah.
certain areas.
I asked the question.
Certain areas have held tournaments for years and years and years and years and years.
All right.
Like, Cool Point for years was the hub on Caddo Lake. That's where all the tournaments were held.
I still hate that it ain't out there no more.
Now, I have a question for you. Will a bunch of those fish stay there? Will they, or do you think that the majority will return to the area they were caught?
Some of them will stay, some of them will go someplace else, and some of them will go home. That's the fact.
Okay.
Now, the stay-in only determines if they're released in an area where it will support those fish.
That's
reason you can't put 50 fish in a canal and expect them to stay if that canal will only support the cover and the bait will only support 10 fish.
I got you.
Now, the other answer to that question is
yours is the wrong answer.
No, mine is correct. The bigger the fish, the better their homing ability. The larger the fish, the better they can go back to where.
Oh, I agree.
What about a pond? What about a pond? A pond. Let's just say that you've got
you catch one in a pond and release it. It will
stay in the pond.
Stay in the pond.
Yeah. No.
He walked right into that, Mike.
That's why I love this show.
He ain't going nowhere.
No. Can you put too many fish in a pond? Let's just say that you put a bunch of 4-pounders in there.
Absolutely.
Can you put more in there than it can support?
Sure.
Yeah, no doubt.
Okay.
Yep. Sure. All right, number 4. How many of KVD's bass record 24 victories have come in the state of New York? 0, 5, 2, or 7? 0, 5,
I'd say
2.
0. I'd say 0.
I would too, because that's just kind of a logical answer. But it would be kind of hard to believe that he couldn't win up there because of smallmouth population.
Sure.
And
yeah.
him being.
Guess what?
What?
5.
Five of them have been in New York.
Have been in New York.
Wow.
I wouldn't have thought that either.
Though.
That's what I'd have guessed if you hadn't steered me wrong.
Okay. All right. The second set.
But can he catch a fish out of a pond and then go put it in the middle of I-20 and catch it again? Yes.
And take it to New York. We'll come back to the pond.
All right. Who holds the record for highest money winnings in a single season on the Bassmaster Tournament Trail? A, Skeet Reese, B, Kevin Van Dam, Boyd Duckett, or Alton Jones?
Wow. That's a good question.
I'm going on a limb here. I'm gonna say
Skeet Reese.
I'm gonna say Boyd Duckett.
I'm saying Skeet Reese. Wow.
Kevin Van Dam.
Kevin Van Dam
earned a whopping $915,500 during the 2010
That was
season.
just too obvious.
Yeah,
really
that's
was.
why I walked away from it.
Yeah. All right, number 2. During the 73 Bassmaster Classic, champion Rayo Breckenridge had engine trouble on the final day. Which famous angler towed him back to the weigh-in site? Bill Dance, Tom Mann, Roland Martin, or Rick Clunn?
Who would know the answer to that?
Well, I can rule out one because that was a nice gesture.
So you're saying
we know which one that is.
You're saying it wasn't rolling.
I'm not saying that, but
I'm gonna say it's Bill Dance. If I had to guess,
That's what I'd say. No, Tom Mann. I'm gonna say Tom Mann.
I'm gonna say Tom Mann. Just goes the big old Indian.
Yeah.
Roland Martin.
Really?
Roland Martin.
See, Eccles, you're
He
going to
He
hell.
charged him $50.
That's where Boat US towing fee got started.
Eccles going to hell, and he's leading us with him.
Follow me, boys.
Exactly. Who holds the record for the smallest margin of victory in a Bassmaster Classic?
That boy right there.
Oh, well, yeah, we had him on not too long ago.
Yes.
Chris Lane, Dion Hibden, Larry Nixon, or Ken Cook. I think we're all in agreement that probably Dion.
I'm going to say Ken Cook.
It was Dion Hibden won the 1997
Thank you.
Classic on Alabama.
Thank you.
Logan
I'll
Martin by
sign-
just 1 ounce.
I'll sign autographs the minute the show's over at 1 o'clock.
Okay.
Y'all are cheating.
Number 4. Who? Excuse me. One angler holds the record for the heaviest winning classic weight and the lightest winning classic weight. Who is he?
Wait a minute. He holds the record for the heaviest and the lightest?
Okay, there's not but 3 anglers have won. No, that's not right. Multiple classics.
George Cochran won with one of the lightest weights. It was on the Arkansas River.
Yeah.
How many did he win? He win twice?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he won three times.
I don't remember.
Is George Cochran one of the answers?
George Cochran.
Okay, George Cochran.
Randy Howe, Paul Mueller, or Kevin Van Dam?
George Cochran.
I'd have to say Cochran, too.
I didn't think Randy Howell had won multiple classics. I just thought he won one.
I did too.
George Cochran's the answer.
When in doubt, always pick Kevin Van Dam.
Kevin Van Dam?
Van Dam won the 2005 Classic at Pittsburgh, Three Rivers, with 12 pounds, 15 ounces. And then he won the 2011 Classic with an all-time record, 69-11.
Wait a minute.
That line of people that were getting autographs from you just got short.
Yeah, it did.
Jay even got out
Wait a
of
minute,
line.
12 pounds in 3 days of fishing?
Yeah, remember wasn't that Pittsburgh?
Yeah,
12 pounds.
I didn't remember it being that.
Yeah, it was brutal.
That's almost like 39 pounds winning the Red River.
Exactly.
God.
Can you imagine?
Hooking up and tracking down. Can you believe it? We're going to go home here in the next 15 minutes.
I'm
It's
telling you, man.
11:30. The
Bunch
Tiger.
of people happy about that.
The Hook It Up and Track It Down Show thanks you for tuning us in today. This segment presented by Nichols Department Stores, Sproul Lures, Kamagatsu Hooks, and Toledo Town and Tackle. Bait, tackle, gash, and a great deli with the best hamburgers on the planet. Truly is the largest tackle box on the bin. One more time, here's Gary McCoy, Mike Eccles, and Steve Graff.
Here's your Daiwa Samurai Braid Best Times to Fish. This weekend is rated as very good on Friday and excellent Saturday and Sunday. I'm so glad to hear that. Lots of bass are still looking to move shallow in order to spawn. A new moon will be prevalent this weekend. There's an 80% chance of rain on Friday and only 40 on Saturday.
I think they've increased that to 100% on Friday.
Right, I don't doubt that. It's going to be tough.
Yeah.
Friday brings a high temperature of 79, low of 57, while Saturday and Sunday will reach 68 for the high and low in the lower 40s. Best times is going to be midday. Friday, 10:01 a.m. to 1:01 p.m. Sunrise will be 6:47, sunset 7:43. Saturday, 10:48 a.m. to 1:48 p.m. Sunrise 6:46 and sunset 7:44. Sunday, 11:36 a.m. to 2:36 p.m. Sunrise will be 6:45, sunset 7:44. This has been your Daiwa Samurai Braid Best Times to Fish.
Okie dokie, we've got the Despino Tire Bass Tournament that's coming up this weekend. Despino Tire is obviously doing an incredible thing with this. It's going to be held this Saturday out of San Miguel Park on Toledo Bend. First place, $20,000.
That is insane.
The incredible part about this is it's a fundraiser for Children's Miracle Network, which is just an unbelievable thing. Randy Despino continues to prove that good things happen to good people.
Yeah, yeah.
And, I mean, he's already a great angler.
Yeah.
But he's gotten to the point now to where, because of the platform that he's established over the years, having one of the most incredible tire stores in the entire South.
Randy's a tremendous entrepreneur,
period. Well, but the thing is that he has remembered to give back.
Oh, yes. No doubt.
And he's constantly looking for ways to put back not only into the community, but especially into the kids of the community. And for that, we applaud him. $20,000. Now, listen, that's the guaranteed first place. Based on 200 entries, second through 30th will also get a check. Second place, based on 200. Is there any way less than 200 people are going to fish this tournament?
I actually talked to Randy 2 days ago. He's predicting 250 to 300 will be in this event, and I think he's not too far off.
$5,000 for second place.
Yeah, exactly.
$3,500 for third, $3,000 for fourth, all the way 21st through 30th will get $500. Yeah. You and I won something in
this one.
We
came in 15th 1 year, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And the thing about it, the $20,000, that ain't based off so many boats. That's guaranteed first place money.
Yes.
Guaranteed.
There's no determination on that. If you're looking for an entry form, obviously you can find them just about anywhere, but you can run by Jim South, Despino Tires, get your entry form. They will have a mandatory registration. At least one team member must register this Friday afternoon, 4 to 7, and I assume that's going to be right there at San Miguel.
Yes, it is.
At the San Miguel State Park.
Right, it is. All the way will be there.
Mike, when you do something like that, when you mandate a registration, what's the number one reason?
I'm not sure. I don't.
I mean, for
okay. The only time we do that is it's normally to get people in a facility.
Sure.
When the time that we do it, it's we have a rules meeting at Bayou Outdoors, and we have a supper, and it's just to get people into the store. And when they're doing this off-site, I know he's got a reason. Randy's a great guy, and he's like you said, a tremendous businessman. And I think it's such a neat thing that he reminds me of one of our other sponsors, very successful businessman who gives back all the time. That's Steve Nichols.
You bet, yeah.
Oh, no doubt.
I think Randy's in the same category.
Well, the reason why I was thinking was he's probably mandating this registration to give away tackle packs or to give away little entry packages, things like
no doubt.
Plus, he's probably going to discuss first cast, last cast. You're going to need your boat team number, that kind of stuff for weigh-in purposes. But I'll bet you he's not just wasting your time.
No.
That's my whole point.
For it. And you can't guarantee $20,000 without having sponsorship behind you.
Sure.
Right. So you've got to do back, and that's something, I'm telling you, that's something that our anglers kind of fall short on. And I've seen it recently, and that's where they're getting a bunch of free money pumped into a tournament from sponsors, and the angler's not really wanting to understand they've got to support the sponsor.
Right.
Well, some of those sponsors, Scott Equipment, Hand Construction, Casey Hand and the gang, Skeeter Boats, Christus St. Francis Cabrini, G-Tech Services, SWB, that's the Southwest Beverage Company, Lou Chandler Incorporated in Bossier City, Sheriff William Earl Hinton of Rapides Parish, H&W Marine, Trans-Canada, Cleco, Sheriff Victor Jones of Natchitoches Parish, Fishing Frenzy Tackle, and I don't know what this one is.
I don't either.
Okay. Do you know what?
Cativos?
Cativos? Cativos. I bet that's what it is. I bet it's
There's no I in there. Is there an I?
Oh, no, there's not.
Catvos.
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 Yeah. Any rate,
somebody associated with Batman.
$20,000. What is the entry fee on this one?
Probably $200, $250.
$250.
$250. Yeah. $250 with an optional $10 big bass pot.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, real quick, the HFL local high school fishing league had a tournament on Lake Bistineau, and a guy that's last name is very familiar to the winner's circle, Hunter Holder. Got to be Jeff's boy.
That's it.
Dagan Bates came in first.
Dagan, better known as Dagwood Bates.
Oh, okay.
Dagwood.
Yep. There you go.
That's what they call him.
They had a 5-fish stringer for 20.03 to win that event. Congratulations to Hunter Holder and Dagan Bates. Second place was Matthew Estes and Andy Ebert. They had a 19.5-pound stringer.
That's some Halton boys.
The Halton boys finished second. Parkway team finished third, and Bennett Hopkins and Tyler Hilton, they had 19.12. Matthew Bowman and Jonathan Polinsky from Halton also finished fourth.
Do you notice that now? I want you to think about this. You got two schools besides Ringgold.
Yeah.
You got in Lakeview, but you got two schools that are right there near Lake Bistineau, Halton and Parkway, and all four of the top four places were either a Halton or Parkway team.
Exactly. Bowman and Polinsky finished fourth with 17.86, and then Harley Cannell and Jackson McGee of Captain Shreve finished fifth with 16.88. And just a great turnout. They did a great job with this event, and congratulations to all these teams. I'm going to scroll down here and just see. I thought they had a total here as to what the number of fish caught. It's trying to load for some reason. Anyway, a great event, great turnout, and we're going to update you each time they have an event. We're going to start updating the local high school fishing league.
Do they fish just about every month?
Yes, they do.
Okay.
Yeah, they do.
And these are all multiple schools. I mean, they're open to, because when we talked to one of the representatives here a couple of weeks ago, maybe it was even last week, he said that, they decided, you know what, we're going to do something that a lot of the other states aren't doing, and they've got their own little tournament trail now.
Right. There were 97 teams participated in this event. That's incredible.
Huge.
It is great. That's great. 178% total fish released. 178 fish were released, which was 100%. Total fish weight was 471.35 pounds. Average weight per fish was 265.
That's really good.
I think that's pretty good. Yeah.
Okay, now question: when these kids win, what do they get? Do they get anything?
They've got gift cards and stuff for them, and they have trophies.
Okay,
plaques.
Okay,
plaques,
and sometimes scholarship money.
I don't think in this.
In this HFL, they don't do that.
I don't know the answer to that.
But on the state level, they do.
Money.
Yeah.
On the state level,
they would. Yes.
Okay, that's awesome. Yeah. Awesome.
But anyway, congratulations to all those guys. Great event.
Yeah, Dagwood and Hunter, good job.
And Don Westmoreland, and again, the Charles Hogg, guys that are affiliated with this. You're doing a tremendous job.
Jeremy Galman.
Yes, they're all doing a great job with this. Congratulations for a job well done.
We don't have a Thursday night tournament this week.
No, we do not. Landers Ram Cash Splash is not this weekend. It's next week.
Okay. Next Thursday.
Yes.
Be at the launch at 4:15.
Well, we'll start taking registration exactly 4:15
and start fishing 5 o'clock ish.
5:15.
Okay.
And quit whatever time we put on that piece of paper. That we how long I want to stay out there.
You know what he did to us this past Saturday?
No telling.
We had
he went home and got
he went on the air last Wednesday and said, we're going to start fishing at 6:25, and then when it came out on the website, we're going to start fishing at 6:35.
Uh-oh. Why'd you change it?
I do not need anybody else pointing out my mistakes.
Hey.
I'll shut up. Take us home, Brother Steve.
All right, here's this week's final word. It's not often that we as outdoorsmen get to put in our 2 cents. It's not often that the powers that be offer us the opportunity to say how things should be done. So all anglers should take advantage of this opportunity by taking the survey that is found on the LDWF website. This survey will help guide our wildlife and fisheries and enhance our lakes and waterways here in Louisiana. If you want things to change or get better, you have to express your opinion, especially when they ask for it. For Mike Eccles, Gary McCoy, Jay Wiley, yours truly, Steve Graff. Thanks for listening. Tune in next week here on 1130 The Tiger for more Hooking Up and Tracking Down.